Thanks to AI for sponsoring today's video. Hey everyone, if you're new here, I'm Liz and I love to redecorate rooms on a budget. Now today's room that we're working on is so awkward. It's the weirdest shaped room. It has no closets, no storage, but I wanted to make it beautiful as well as functional. To catch you up, Chris and I bought a lake house that needed a lot of work. Our plan is to DIY it one room at a time while staying within a tight budget. And of course, we plan to take you along every step of the way, sharing our best tips for DIYing on a budget. So this room was pretty much a blank canvas, so the first thing we did was remove all of the carpets and the baseboards. We painted the entire room with the color Swiss Coffee. This is a Benjamin Moore color, and I always get it at 70%, so it's not its full strength. And I sprayed the entire room with my paint sprayer. If you're gonna be doing a big job, a paint sprayer just makes it so much easier. Next, we added in luxury vinyl plank floors that we got from Home Depot. I'll link them down in the description box, and all the products that I'm showing you guys in today's video, they'll be down there as well. Throughout the lake house, I'm painting all the baseboards in the color Accessible Beige, so I did that with this room as well. So I like to paint my baseboards before I install them, so I just use a roller and I painted 2 coats of Accessible Beige before I installed. The previous owners had left a dresser that fit pretty well in the space, so I figured I would try to repurpose it because it was free. I wanted to remove the curvy pieces at the bottom of the dresser just to make it look a little bit more modern, so I unscrewed those pieces. I also had to come in with my pry bar to kind of pull them off. I was lucky that once I took the pieces off, I was just left with 2 legs. I just sanded down the legs. I did have some holes that I went in and I just added in some wood filler to fill those up. I removed the old hardware for the dresser to get ready to paint. I did a light sand on the entire piece just to kind of scuff it up so it would take the paint a lot better. Next, I'm going to add in the primer. I like to do this with a 4 or 6 inch foam roller. The one I'm using is 6 inch. You could also use a brush around the edges if you need to. Let the primer completely dry. Then I'm going to come back in with 2 coats of the color Accessible Beige. Remember, this was the color that I used on the baseboards, but I continued it onto the dresser. With this piece of furniture, I really wanted to give it kind of like a worn, almost Pottery Barn look. So I found this water-based glaze off of Amazon, and it's in a dark brown finish. Now, when you add a glaze to a piece, it's really personal preference. You can add as little or as much as you like. So I didn't really want to add too much. I just wanted to give it kind of a worn finish. So I mixed some of the glaze with water on a plate. I used a foam brush and I wiped it onto the dresser. Then I immediately came back in in with a paper towel and wiped off any excess. When you're adding a glaze, you really want to take a step back, look at it, and make sure you're happy with it. If you want to add more, you can do that as well. After everything had a chance to dry, I added in some knobs that I picked up off of Amazon. In this room, I really wanted to have a wireless mini camera system because my niece and nephews are going to be staying here, so we could be downstairs but still see how they're doing up here. I also love to check on Moose when he's in different rooms. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to install this smart Wi-Fi mini camera. I love how tiny it is. You can put it on this magnetic base or you can attach it to the wall. I'm just gonna have mine sitting out here on this dresser. So I'm gonna plug it in and attach to the wall, and I'll show you how easy it is to set up. The hardest part is usually just moving the dresser to find the outlet. With all of the AI Dot products, it's really easy to set them up in their app, and what's cool is you can control them within the app. It's pretty easy to set up the devices. You just add a new device. Then I'm just gonna select the Cam Mini. With all the AI Dot items, they have a little scanner code on the back. All you have to do is scan that barcode. You can line it up. And then you just follow the prompts to continue to set it up.
Trying to connect Wi-Fi. Adding procedure successful.
Once you pair your device, then you can decide what room you want it to be in because AI Dot has a bunch of different products. I'm gonna go in and select that this is gonna be the Palmer room because that's the name we picked for this room. And we are up and running. Yay! That took me a minute to set up. I wanted to show you some of the cool features. One thing you can do is you can snap a picture. You can also record anything going on, and it has a two-way speaker. So you can speak to anyone who's up in the room and say, hey, go to bed. You can record any motion, anything going on in the room. I'm really happy with the mini camera. I love how small it is. I think it's gonna work great. I'm gonna finish up decorating the rest of the dresser. So thrifted books. So I'm gonna use this print with my Dollar Tree frame, and that's gonna help disguise some of the cords that I'm using for the camera. Another thrifted vase. These are stems that I grabbed at Hobby Lobby. I found this adorable golden dragonfly in the Target dollar spot. This room has some serious lighting challenges. There are 0 windows. I have 1 light, which is a ceiling fan, so I need to add a lot of lights, a lot of warmth around the room. So I'm gonna be adding another Wi-Fi smart lamp to the nightstand. This one's by AI Dot as well. And you guys, all of these lights I'll have linked for you down in the description box, but let's install this one. Before I go crawling back there to put the cords away, I wanna make sure that I want it over there and not on this side. Originally, I thought I was gonna put it here. Let's try all of our options. Okay, I definitely think it looks better over here. My beautiful dragonfly just broke. Look, the dragonfly is in lots of pieces. Oh man, all the legs fell off. Okay, maybe I can find another one. No dragonfly. I'm surprised that it broke that easily. Okay, gotta be more careful. So the cool thing about this lamp is it has an adjustable height, so I can put it either up or down. I think I like it down. So the other cool thing is you can control it in app, or you can actually control it on the top. So you can literally just press the light, look at all the other cool colors. There's also a dim up and dim down switch, so you can kind of like customize the light however you want. If you want to turn it off, you just press down and the light turns off. So cool. So I also want to add the light to my phone in app. That way I can be in bed and control this lamp sitting over here. So all you have to do is just pair the devices up. I also like that it has the 2 different settings. So if I wanted to just like quickly turn it off, I could, or I could do it in my app. This would also be a great lamp for a desk. Party feature, there's a wake up feature, reading light, TV light. If you love seeing budget-friendly decorating and DIYs, consider subscribing to my channel. I post 2 new videos a week. So because this space was so awkward, I felt like I needed a wow statement, so I decided to add a board and batten accent wall. I'm gonna be putting this on the wall behind where my bed is going to set. I'm gonna be using baseboard along the bottom edge, and then the board and batten is going to be what I typically use for my door casing. So I went ahead and put in my door casing around my door. Next, I have to figure out the spacing for the boards. Now, this was probably the most tricky part because I didn't know exactly how many boards I wanted to use, and I also wanted to make sure that I didn't run into any outlets. I had a couple of those. So once I figured out how far I wanted them to be apart, I measured up how high I wanted them, and I wanted them to be probably about 4 inches higher than my bed. Then I just cut the boards down with my miter saw. One of the crucial parts when you're cutting the boards is just making sure they're the same size. That way the board that's on top will sit on there nicely. Once I had all the boards cut, I added them to the wall with my Roby nailer. I love this nailer, you guys. It works so well. I'll link it for you down below. And I'm just gonna nail the boards into the wall. Once I've added all of my vertical boards, I'm going to add 1 horizontal board to the top. This is the same style of board, and I'll just nail those in. Now, if you guys are interested in the door casing or baseboards that I use, I pick these up at Home Depot. Now I'm going to fill all the holes. And then I'll add in caulking along the edges. This is such an important step because once you start painting, you don't want to have any seams. I'm gonna be using the color Evening Dove to paint my board and batten. I wanted something that was bold, that was really gonna stand out in this room. So I used a roller and a brush to paint it. I also painted the door casing as well. One of the things I was really concerned about when we first bought this property were the textured walls, because the whole entire place has knockdown on the ceilings and the walls, and I didn't know how that was going to affect me creating accent walls. And I have to tell you, in this room, I was pleasantly surprised. I was still able to do the board and batten. The only thing that I probably wouldn't attempt is wallpaper, because I don't think that would look very well. I want you to know, if you guys do have textured walls, I feel like you can add in like a board and batten or different accent walls. I wanted to add some inexpensive frames to my wall, and I love the 11 by 14 frames from Dollar Tree. They're super affordable, so I picked up 5 of these frames. Now lately I've been loving purchasing downloadable prints off of Etsy. There's some really great and fun prints to choose from, so I'll link to the one that I picked up below. You guys are gonna have to let me know if you've ever ordered prints off of Amazon. I never knew about this. I kind of was like searching around for an affordable print and stumbled on it, but for larger prints like 11 and 14 and larger, I feel like they're awesome quality. So let me know if you guys have been ordering your prints off of Amazon or if this is something new that you've just learned. I also bought prints for another room, like I've done a 16 by 20 and it looked awesome as well. I disassembled my frames and I'm gonna be spray painting all 5 of the frames. I'm gonna start off with a cream color. I'm gonna do both sides with 2 coats. Next, I'm gonna be using this stone textured spray paint. This is so fun. A little goes a long way, but it adds just a little bit of texture to your piece. I'm gonna add the prints into the frame. Now I'm gonna leave out the glass because I don't want the glare from the lights. Now, sometimes it can be a little bit intimidating putting frames on the wall because you want to make sure that they're all at the same line. So my suggestion is start from a base point. So I'm going to start at the bottom of my board and batten, and I'm going to measure up how high I want them to go. I'm going to nail the first nail into the center, and to figure out that point, I'll just measure my wall to get my center point, and I'll nail that into the wall. And I'll continue down adding in my nails. I'm going to measure from my same point to make them all at the same height. You could also use a level to make sure that they're level on your wall. And then I'll just put my frames onto the nails. With these 5 frames, I spaced them about 2 inches apart. I tried to get the largest bed possible for my space, so I found this king bed in this really pretty cream color off of Amazon, so I installed the bed next. Somehow I'll give you my attention. You've got to know that I ain't a person who understands all the clockwork of our romance. You make me feel so alive. I'm gonna link to the mattress that I added below, but I have to tell you, it's really comfortable and was super affordable. At the lake house, I wanted the sheets to be really distinctive, so I found these cool plaid sheets. I love the way they look. They were really affordable, so I picked them up in the king size. Since we're gonna be staying here primarily in the summer, I wanted a lightweight quilt for the space. I found this one that after I washed it, it didn't wrinkle up at all, so I'm excited to use it. I think it looks great on the bed. Now to finish off the bed with the pillows, I put 3 Euro shams on the back. These were from Target. Then I added in those plaid pillows from the sheet set. And then I thought it would be kind of different to put a long beige pillow. This was like a lumbar support pillow that I picked up at Target. I've been having a hard time deciding whether or not I should put a throw at the bottom of the bed. I don't know, I was thinking about maybe adding like a tan or cream throw. Let me know your thoughts. Just leave the comment throw in the comments down below if you think I should add a throw. How amazing is this side table? I just thought it was so unique and different. I bought it at a store in Kansas City called Good Juju, and literally me and my mom searched pretty much the whole day for this side table. I knew it had to be small to fit in this room, but I wanted something wood and unique, and I think this is perfect. All right, so there is not a lot of room on the nightstand, enough for this gold lamp that I picked up. And again, I have to get behind the bed to plug it in. For light bulbs in this nightstand, I definitely wanted to go with smart light bulbs because if I'm sleeping over on that side of the room, remember how awkward this room is? I don't want to have to like roll over here and turn this off. I want to be able to grab my phone and just turn off the light. So I actually have two styles by AI Dot. One is more of a like traditional light bulb. This one is a vintage style. So I'm going to try both of them and see which one I like the best. Now, just like the camera and lamp that I already installed, these light bulbs have a little sticker on them with a scanner so you can easily connect them to your phone. And then you can turn it off on your phone. You can also click on it and dim the light, which is so cool. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. And again, you can turn it on and off by your phone, so I can be laying over there and turn off the light. Okay, so I switched out the regular bulb for the vintage bulb, and I think I like the vintage one a little bit better. So I'm gonna leave that one in there. In each of the packs of light bulbs, you get 4 light bulbs, and you can put them in different rooms and pair them all separately. So I'll definitely add those somewhere else, but I think in here I'm gonna keep the vintage one. Let me know if you guys agree. Leave me a comment and let me know regular or vintage. If you like seeing videos like this, make sure to give me a thumbs up. And if you've made it this far in the video, go down in the comments and comment the word Navy. I had a really hard time figuring out like a fun wall art piece, and I wanted to add something to add a little bit of interest to that wall when you first walk into the room. Last year in 2021, I created a wall art piece that I thought would be perfect for this room. Now, to create this wall art piece, I started by cutting a board down into a rainbow shape. I purchased some larger macrame cord off of Amazon. I'm gonna hot glue it around the edge of my rainbow piece. I'm gonna trim the macrame down so that all of the pieces are at an angle. Originally, I added some blue tie-dye to the bottom portion of this macrame, but as I was looking at it for this room, I felt like it needed a little bit more dye to it. So I picked up the color royal blue dye to use for this piece. I also wanted to add in a board to the middle of my piece. This is just a 1x2 board that I picked up at the store. I'm gonna cut that down to size, then I'm gonna paint it white. I hot glued that board to the middle of my macrame. Now, one of the cool things about dye that you buy that's fabric dye is you can actually change the strength of it by adding water. I wanted to make a really dark concentrated look, so I taped off the top portion of my macrame, and I also put some tape underneath the board as well on both sides. Then I went in with a paintbrush. I put a little bit of the dye into a container, and I literally just painted on the macrame with my paintbrush. This was very intense color, very deep blue. Next, I taped off a portion on the bottom. I mixed some of the dye with water, so I was getting a little bit of a brighter blue color. And again, I went in with a brush and just brushed it onto the macrame. I might be dreaming. You're stirring things up. My heart is beating. I'm gonna remove the tape and let this dry completely overnight. Looking at it the next day, I decided I wanted to add in a little bit more of that full strength blue macrame to the top of my lighter blue color. Once it dried, I was completely happy with it, and I just added it to the room. I wanted to tell you guys too, I also had to buy a mini ceiling fan for this room. We actually created a wood support beam and added in this mini fan. The one that I originally purchased was a full-size one and it was not going to spin in this room. So I grabbed this one off of Amazon and it just kind of finishes off the room. So if you have a really tiny room and you can only put a nightstand on one side of your bed, over on this side I put a little outlet adapter where you can plug in your phone. It has a little ledge as well, so that's gonna work for whoever stays here to charge their phone. I was almost completely done. I finished off the room by adding in a plant stand that I picked up at a vintage market. I also added in an ottoman from Target.
Did you find a blanket? Moose, did you find a blanket? You're so cute. You're so cute.
And here's a look at the finished space. All the AI Diet products are going to be down in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in our next one. Bye.